We had an incident occur on Sunday morning that heightened awareness, created angst, but also provided what we believe is an opportunity, a teaching moment. Fortunately, the incident didn't escalate to the level where there was significant injury and harm to anyone, but it had all of the characteristics of volatility. And it's something that is not unique to us, but we in this community feel its uniqueness, it's personal.
I would like to say it is not an option for community members to interfere with the arrest of another, okay? It is never permissible for citizens to menace or attempt to attack a police officer. I feel very grateful that this officer, Officer Zubko, used restraint in the situation. No amount of training could have possibly prepared a police officer to physically defend himself and his arrestee against 14 to 15 people who were attacking him. Again, I applaud his restraint and the restraint of members of that crowd who didn't follow the foolish advice of a friend and charge an armed police officer. This could have been diffused twice. At the very first part where that officer informed him to stop, if he would have stopped, this would have been diffused in seconds. When he fled and surrendered himself, actually this was diffused then. The officer could have just taken this a step back, figured out the situation, assisted the shooting victim, assisted in the arrest of the shooting suspect. However, the crowd escalated this to the point where this could have endangered the police officer, the crowd itself, and the community in general. As a community member, as a police officer, I was concerned, as was Pastor Williams, that the community in danger of the community, and I think our objective is just to keep people safe. We want to keep the community safe, we want to keep people safe, and we'll respond to these.
And what's going to be discussed here today, I think, is just an example of an ongoing conversation that has been occurring with our Lorain Police Department and many of our civic groups, organizations, and leaders. And that's the important thing. It needs to be a dialogue, and it needs to be an ongoing dialogue. We've put together a citizens committee that has just formed in this past year. We've got a strategic plan that's occurring, and we've also had numerous discussions with community leaders, with our police chief, and an open door policy that regardless of whether there's an incident or whether there's not, it's important to have those discussions and that dialogue, and that's why we're here today. It's being proactive. It's getting those leaders in the community together to talk about what really are tough issues sometimes to talk about. But with the help of law enforcement, as well as our leadership in the community, we're in this together.
This represents citizenship, membership, leadership of our respective community, and we're very concerned. We're concerned about the safety of our citizens and our police officers. We're concerned that there are certain behaviors that are not typical. We normally don't see a type of mob response. We really want to applaud the individuals who first took the wrong step, but then did not escalate this any further. We support law enforcement 100% in the job that they have to do, and we say don't break the law, understand what your rights are, understand what your response should be. But also we understand that there is a culture that's somewhat disconnected, and we are committed to trying to reach out and figure out how do we communicate, how do we better understand each other, how do we better trust each other so that what could have happened doesn't happen.